Ladies and gentlemen, we are here on a patch notes. I don't even know where the hell these came from. I feel like I didn't think that there was going to be patch notes, and it helps me because I didn't really feel like doing any videos today. So you guys get a double whammy, shabammy, gammy, do dammy, lammy, so fammy. But make sure you guys check out the last video where I feel like no one discovered this. I'm surprised it's not getting as much attention. But the True Ice combo with the Crimson Banquet, you guys got to check that out. I'll make sure, hopefully I remember to put a link to the video in this video, and I might even do a community post because I really want people to see that. It's actually really cool. But let's see if maybe I gotta make some other decks because this patch notes are coming. Now I do remember, I think I was in Snooty's stream, they said that something's coming soon. Outside, well Eternal is tomorrow, right? So we get Eternal rank tomorrow, so the shenanigans, any secret thing that people have been sitting back on will now be unleashed. So hopefully, let's see if they're making any changes for Eternal, which to me would be a great idea. It would really help boost the game because I feel like you have to take care of both, and if you don't, I think the game dies much quicker. And I say die, it sucks to say it, but like if you only people care about one mode, which is just standard, then like everyone else that just doesn't play it, you just lose that entire crowd. And I feel like that's a lot of people to lose when the game needs as many people as every online multiplayer game does. So anywho, let's go and look at it. We got the patch notes. We have words that mean a lot of things. So first off, we have the dragon. It is a Titanic dragon, so it's an 8/4, right? And range fire spit fire. And it has a skill as well, is deal 2 damage to an enemy and 2 damage to the Nexus. It is a 6 cost, and it is a Noxus. So as we know right now, the Sigil of the Storms is legitimately only in one stupid thing, which I absolutely hate, as you guys know. I hope that Sigil of the Storms come in other regions or something like that, because you're just basically about to Freljord with it. And there's only 2 cards that make them at the moment, right? And then there's the other one, the Earth Sign that does too, but it's really the spell and the 3-drop, right? Those are the more likely ones that you're going to use. So this one's nice, especially if you put it in the deck that I just showed you guys in the video I just referenced before. This one would take the place of the Wraithful Rider, right? The Wraithful Rider, I think, is a 5 cost though, and it also doesn't come with a skill, so it's technically this would be a better version of it. It costs, I think, 1 more at 6 mana, has Challenger, has 8. If True Ice is on the field, this will become a 5. If you do my combo, it's a 5 cost 8/8 with Challenger, and it did 2 to an enemy and did 2 to Nexus. That's a lot of value to do that. But even if you're not using the True Ice thing, you're still gonna come out pretty nice, right? Pretty nice. So overall, really good card and another elemental skill. Next up is gonna be the Trusted Adnia, and it's gonna be when I'm summon Adnia's Avarice, which is right here, which is he summons a support, which makes sense because he's like in a wheelchair, which is kind of interesting. Grow me to my supported ally stats this round. So he's cool and all, but she's a beast because she can become pretty much anything. It also is kind of, I think Lulu is rotated, right? So there's a potential here that you could say, oh, now Lulu maybe has something else, but it's a 5-drop, right? Now, but let's be fun, and let's be spicy, right? Now, if you were to have him summon multiple times, if you were to put him in the Black Flame, this is Ionia we're talking about here, you could have a bunch of these, and this character, this unit here, doesn't need to be anything nice at all. Doesn't have to be anything, it just has to have something that support it, and it will grow its stats. It doesn't take the keywords though, but even it grows its stats. Now let's say you make this bad boy elusive or something like that, and there's some cool stuff you could do with this card. This card is booty cakes, but this is nice. It's also, keep in mind, it is a 1-drop, and it being a 1-drop means that it does get affected by Siren Songs, and it gets affected by that. So maybe we're going Ionia Bilgewater, right? Because that's where the 1-drop stuff is. I actually got my cheeks clapped off video by a Azir deck. It was Azir, so it's Shurima, Bilgewater, which is similar to Rek'Sai and Pike, but instead he went with the 1-cost thing. So this could be another version. Maybe going to Ionia, then you are boosting up. Maybe we go into Eternal and we have a 1-drop thing with the Blade Dance. Maybe we get that going with this card where it could be supported, and then this could be supporting technically the Sparring Student, right? You can have the Sparring Student and then have the Sparring Student have this being supported all the way to the right, so all the blade dances and all the other stuff will trigger, and then this would copy the Spartan student stats, and you have 2 big thing stats on there. So I think that there's a lot of good things with this card, and I guarantee no one thought of it like the boy did. Just give me my like and my subscribe. No one thought about that. You didn't think about that until I said it. I know you didn't. I know you didn't. It's your boy, okay? Next up is gonna be the Chem Tech Drag. Okay, three of in every deck I play. First of all, we got PNZs. We got PNZs, which is obviously the strongest region right now. So it's an 8 cost. It's also Titanic, and it says when you play a spell, draw 1. So what are you doing? Play a spell, draw 1. When you draw while you have a full hand, deal 1 to the enemy nexus. So that has to be one of the full OTA. First of all, this is a dragon. This is a dragon, and I just saw that this is a dragon. PNZ getting a dragon. That's very interesting to begin with. And also lore implications. That's pretty cool as well, especially because as you can see, it's a biomech altered dragon that was probably stolen or captured or something like that. But this is obviously really cool. So overdrawing, when you draw, so pretty much burning cards, right? If you burn cards, you'll deal 1 to the enemy nexus. Every content creator in the world that makes content for this game is going to try to lethal by Chemtrack Dragon. You just have to try it because all you have to do is overdraw, and there's so many. Like, we as a player base try to avoid that. That's why you have the hand counter. You can press the hand and you can say, oh, how many cards do I have in my hand? It is a natural thing for us to try to avoid at all costs. But now you benefit from doing it because drawing when your hand is full, or drawing, like having stuff that triggers, especially right now in PNZ with the Janet package, it's very easy to do that. Like, there's cards that draw at least +2. There are cards that you summon and then they'll draw more in your hand afterwards. So you could definitely get, as long as he's on the field, obviously, and when you play a spell, draw a card, right? So what happens if Karma's out in the field? You know, what about the double cards? Like a time trick that's duplicated by Seraphine or something like that, and you draw 2 cards playing 1, your hand might get full. So, and this is also making me think of, let's say they nerf, I think I did scroll down at Janet, something's happening to Janet, I'll let you guys know right now, spoiler alert. But let's say we take it into Eternal and we go Time Bomb, right? Time Bomb and Zillion, level up Zillion. A lot of times the hand space is a problem. So like this is gonna be a fun card to try to win with, but it also it could actually be legit regardless, because, and you also have the harp. The Darkened Harp is also in this as well. So let's go to the next one. Bordier of Blackened Ice. When I'm summoned, summon 2 Frozen Thralls and advance them to 2. Not gonna see this. This card's not seeing the day of light. Now, yes. If it was a lower cost, it's like, what are you gonna do? Sigils? You're gonna do sigils, get it out earlier, and to put 2 thralls. Now I do remember, I think that they changed the thralls, so this might still seem goodish, but I feel that if you don't have anything, of course, yeah, if you're cheesing it out, if you're ramping, maybe. I just don't think that this card's that great. Not my cup of tea. And next up we have the Dune Swallower. Oh, my mind. And it is a 5 cost, 9/6. So this is like Titanic, and I feel like now you always gotta look at what's Titanic, right? So like this is a Titanic unit as well. To play me, kill an ally or one of your mana gems 3 times. Interesting. It has a spell shield and fearsome though, so it has really good keywords. And also I'm thinking about Yegor Kaiser having such a strong, they kind of battle, they're both 5-drops, but that's still pretty strong. And also maybe we get to Shurima Failure going and you have an ally out there. Now this is obviously good for a deck that has a bunch of minions. You just spam a bunch of minions and you easily just kill one. Because I don't think in any scenario do you want to kill your mana gems 3 times. That's, you -3 yourself, unless they make more cards that have that thing, which are in Shurima, which is when you're behind on mana, it gets an additional effect. That's where this would come in, but that would be so hard to pilot in Runeterra when you get 1 mana per round. They would have to make a whole other archetype, which I think I've seen in Hearthstone, if I'm not mistaken. I watched one Raran video for like about 2 seconds. I watched it for a little bit and then I got completely confused and I turned it off. But it was some deck that pretty much, you were pretty much instant, like kind of like the Sigil of the Storm, but like quicker mana ramping, literally for the round. Like expedite, like you boosted the hell out of your mana for 1 round and then did it. So in that case, maybe I could see something like that, but we don't have that currently, so screw that card. So next up, the Kingfisher. When I'm summoned, and hopefully you guys can, I'm reading it pretty good. My Inglando is good ondoed, all right? So next up, the Kingfisher. When I'm summoned, draw 1 card of each champion from your deck. Why did you do that? Each round, the first time you summon a champion, rally. Again, why did you do that? Why did you do that? That's an awesome card. Reason being is because one of the stronger decks currently in the meta was the Galio and Volibear. Now, as I keep saying, why play Volibear when you can play Udyr? Udyr pretty much comes out earlier, does more things. But if you have the Sigil passive out there and you play this earlier than 9, it's amazing. And the fact that all you have to do is play another champion. And what's also pretty interesting, like let's say we're not going Freljord, right? We have to keep in mind that one of the best Priestess decks that exists was with Demacia. It's because the Demacian curve, or just the Demacian champions alongside the Shuriman champions, meshed the best in my personal opinion. So this could be another thing with that same loveliness. Also, with Shurima, you could just use the Secret Keeper and then put those cards in your deck and then use this to draw them out, right? When I'm summoned, and you could duplicate it, you could do a lot of things and just abuse the hell out of this card. I think that this card is pretty interesting. And also, this thing, each round, the first time you summon a champion, rally. Now I can even take this completely out of the last 2 regions I mentioned, and I can go into P and Z. I could go into something that's going to duplicate it. I can go in like a Parallel Convergence, could be insane, right? You could Parallel Convergence while this card is out in the field. Not only would it summon, draw you a champion, but also if the champion's already on the field, it would summon and trigger the rally. So it'd be kind of nuts. There's a lot of cool cards, but it's obviously such a long, it's like so long in the game, it'd have to be, it's a one-off in every deck, but when the YouTubers get it out, that one time, it's gonna be awesome just to see the rally and how obnoxious it is. And this is a unit though. A lot of the times Demacia has gotten away with murder with their spells. Like they fill the board with all their units and then they use a spell and cheese out that way. So this one is a little bit more fair, I hope, for the time being. Next up, Portia, the Peculiar, 9 cost 9/9, another Titanic unit. And it actually has something to do with Titanic. Play, manifest a Titanic follower and set its stats to 1/1 and cost to 0. Ladies and gentlemen, Battle City, how do you keep getting away with this? We have not, I have not, maybe you have. Have we seen Titanic with Battle City? No, because there's not many units in there, the Battle City, outside of like the Arsenal or something like that. This is insane, because you could get the majority of the cards that I just mentioned randomly. It does not say manifest within your region, it just says manifest and it costs 0. So you get a created card. So let's say if you have the Mirror Mage, because Mirror Mage is in this, right? You could also, I think, no, Mirror Mage, I think the Mirror Mage has 8 defense. But actually, no, I don't think it does. But let's just say Mirror Mage is out there because this is a turn 9 card, right? So you go 8, 9, and manifest it, costs 0, so you can play it immediately. Nora's gonna love it. And then, I mean, these are just think of this card or this card, play a spell, start drawing. And let's say since you're already in Battle City, you can go Battle City Bard. You know, you don't even need to, or just draw, like just crazy. This card is nuts. I'm not even gonna, there's no purpose of staying on this card for too long because it's just insane. You don't need it to be talked to. And all these are like dragons. And this one here, Sefursa, Scourge of the Deep, a sea monster dragon. And important to say because, and also all these dragons also, going in different regions, I think does help out a little bit of, oh, I'm sorry, I went too far. Helps out, what's that lady's name? Nico, just having different units coming in different places does help her out a little bit. She does still need a little bit more help, I think, to become good, but you know, it is what it is. So this one is a sea monster dragon. It's deep. When you spend mana to play another unit, create a random card in hand equal to of its cost. It costs 0, and it's fleeting. These two, and that's why they put them together, because they're both broken. They're both broken. I love that they're leaning into the Titanic thing, though. They're leaning into Titanic, and this is going to make the Earth sign a lot more better, but it's gonna make it better. It's gonna make people want to actually work for it, right? To put them on the field, and you can play spells, and then as you're playing spells, you'll get these sigils, and then you'll be able to play these big units. There's a bigger payoff. There's more payoff, and that was the reason. Another issue I think with Titanic, there wasn't enough units in it to really work with it. But everything that I'm saying, you pretty much have to put with Freljord. That's all where the only Sigil of the Storms come from. You have to play with Freljord, or you just put these cards in decks, which some of them are perfectly fine to just slap off of a one-off in that region with, if you're just playing it. Why are you not slapping this in a portal deck, you know? Why are you not slapping this? This is a legitimate thing. Sea Monster, I think the deep deck just got dramatically better. This is a Sea Monster, so Nautilus will bring it back. And when you spend mana on something, regardless of what it is, create a random card in hand. It doesn't even, it's a card. It could be a spell. It could be a unit. It's insane. Now, obviously, Nautilus would discount a bunch of stuff, but if let's say the thing costs 0, you're gonna get a 0, well, 0 cost cards is stupid, but it costs 1 or 2. All of a sudden, Nautilus is generating a Mystic Shot or Time Trick or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's insane what this card could do. It's pretty cool. And when you spend, and it doesn't say once per turn. When you spend, as long as you're playing for a unit, you're gonna get a card for it. And there are other 0 cost cards that are pretty good. You know, that like the mirror card or something like that. So I like this card a lot. I know I gotta keep going because this is just the new cards. There's even more stuff in this. So Spectral Hound, this is a 6 cost 5/3. We're out of Titanic territory for a little bit. To play me, kill an ally. When I'm summoned, summon a 1,000 Claw Deathwinder, which is this guy. And this is a 6 cost 8/4 with Fearsome. This is the most uninteresting thing I've ever seen. But it's, you know, I'm not even going to waste a lot about it. All right, next up. Field Protector. When I'm summoned or you summon a Titanic ally, heal your Nexus 3. So when he comes out initially, he heals 3. And then every time you summon a Titanic ally, heal 3. This is insane because of, obviously, with the Cosmic Call in Targon, a lot of those units, the big units that are now reduced by half, will now be healing you for no reason. Now you have the Unicorn or the Cosmic Youngling or something like that to heal up, but this is a nice, I would say maybe one-off. But the healing might not matter, but it could. You know, if it, depending on what the meta is, you drop this guy on 5, he immediately heals 3, and then if you start dropping anything, it doesn't matter, as long as it has attack or defense in the 8s, it's gonna heal you. And it's not once per turn, so you could heal a lot. Maybe you have something that duplicates something. And, you know, there's a lot of implications for that. I like this card a lot, and I don't know why this card. I have to go back here. Just as what the hell was this? All right. So card adjustments. So Divine Whirlwind is going to, the deal 3 is still going to be the same, still going to cost 5, but it's going to deal 1 to Nexus instead of 2. I feel like that's fair. 5 damage. And yes, I know it's the unit in the Nexus, but 5 damage for potentially 3 costs was kind of nuts. So gonna wind it down a little bit. I like that. Cosmic Call. So invoke with cost reduction and just reduce. I think this just makes sense because the fact that it did both, I think when I read it initially, I would have thought that it wasn't that great because you paid 8 and then you had to work up to it. But the fact that you got both was kind of nuts. So it makes more sense to me, and also it makes like when Seraphine randomly generates it, it's not as good because at the other time she would reduce it and then she also got a thing right on top of it, which was kind of nuts. And I was like, eh. So now it just reduces the cost of Celestials everywhere if you pay 8. You have the option to do that, and then you still have to have a Celestial deck, an Invoke deck to really bring that out. I like that change. It's like, to me, it's a logic change. All right, next up, Janna getting that bank, 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 bank. 2 additional, making her harder to level, especially I've seen, well, we saw it in the Cosmic deck with Aurelion Soul. She could almost level on turn 1. Not turn 1, but sorry. She can level when she's played. So you play her on, like, almost on when she's get played, and then she levels. Because it's easy to play about 6 cards. You definitely can't play 8 reduced cost cards unless they all cost, a lot of them cost like 0 or 1. It's really hard to do that. So I actually don't mind this change. Because sometimes even doing this, using the play effect of Janna is not that bad. Because you updrafting 2, draw 2. So I don't mind it. I don't know. I can't even say it's really bad. I think it's a fair one. She was way too strong, and I think that this will at least make it that your deck has to have more draw. That's Janna's biggest issue, and we're gonna see it even worse. Is that if she doesn't level quick, that draw, the aspect of not drawing a lot per turn, then you're only reducing 1 cost per turn, and it becomes a nightmare. So you need to have a deck that actually has more reduction based into it, and that instead of just like drawing into nonsense. So I definitely think that this is gonna make her a little bit more tame. I respect it. And also, since Eternal is gonna happen, you're gonna probably see some more crazy stuff. Champion Strength, don't even care. Yes, it's back to 9. It's, oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Swain, man, he was late to the he's late. He couldn't even. It's that yearbook picture. So they made him easier to level because I think he's gone out of the thing, and also they nerfed one of his easier ways to get out there, which was the idol, right? So now it's a little bit easier for him to level. People, yeah. Closer watch on a certain idol. That's funny. We think Swain can have a little bit of power back. They want to see what they can do with Swain, or people will even play him again. 14's cool. I mean, they gave him the overwhelm. He was a powerhouse, but they put him away. People put him away as other options or better options come around. So this thing, Dame Despoiler, no one didn't see the light of day. It didn't have overwhelm. It was just grant allies. I guess it's cool. I don't care. Anyway, this one, 2-1 and 2-2-2, so it has a little bit more defensive stats. That's pretty cool. I would have liked to see it go down to like 3. A 3 cost, but it might have been too strong because but you only draw 2, no matter how fat your hand is. And I guess if you had a big hand, then it's a 3 cost with a lot of stats. But this is still 4 costs with a lot of stats, updrafted a whole hand. And then if you again have a draw-based deck, which you should have Neela with her, will work out. Okay. Next up, Broodfather becoming Titanic, which would adjust some of the other things that we were seeing that could alter a little bit of things. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So I like that. Trendemir becoming an 8-6, even though he's supposed to die. Making him a little bit more sturdy before that, I think that's pretty good. Also, if you want him to die, there's ways to you can specifically do that too. So I can respect that. Warrior Mother's Call going to 11 mana. That is very interesting. Freljord, and essentially with all these Titanic stuff, is getting buffs, and it kind of makes me think about, they probably want people to ramp as well, not just Titanic, just by spamming the sigils. So now War Mother's Call, some of those big things that we were just reading up above are now gonna come, and guess what? Now you have this at 11. You got to think about it. Hey, he might have War Mother's Call, and then all of a sudden he's summoning big, gigantic Titanic units with amazing effects. So that's going to be insane. Commander Ledros becoming a 10-6. Sure, why not? Necrotic Arachnoid, no keywords, and now has Fearsome itself. Sure, why not? Spirit Leech becoming a 4-2. Sure, why not? The Ether Fiend, that's the bird. It's just not showing up here. The bird that has the effect is a little bit cheaper, so it comes out a little bit earlier. They nerfed the stats to compensate for that. Sure, why not? Seal of Steel. I've actually always liked this card because you rip the stats, and then it's permanently grafted onto a weapon. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. But I don't know. We'll still see the light of day. So Star Tipped Peak going up in cost. Oh, I guess because of Cosmic Call, that kind of makes sense. Not really, because these are already, the Star Tipped Peak only makes it only makes the cheap ones anyway, so it really has an effect with that, but whatever. Bandle City going down to 3 costs. They said get Bandling, baby. They want you to assemble the Bandle Avengers, ladies and gentlemen. That's a decent change, but that's a little spooky, not gonna lie. Katarina going back to a 3-2. I didn't even know she was. It almost doesn't matter, but it does matter because then she's stronger. But she attacks and goes back to the hand every time. But if you can take the quick attack away, I guess that makes a difference somehow, some way. Preservationist Shurima is meant to have advancing landmarks as. I don't even know what this is because it's not showing me. I don't remember. But it's 4 costs now. Be happy, be merry. Desert's Wrath. I think that's the Azir card. That's some of the thing. Lower the cost of that. Spirit Portal. Still not using it. They Who Endure. 7 costs now to a 6 cost. Okay. That's kind of nuts. But I think They Who Endure, I think isn't that the one that like it gets stats based on how many things it kills? I don't know if that works with Titanic. I don't remember. Anywho, Frenzy Skitterer turned into a 3/3. Fantastic. This one is a 1 cost now. That's interesting because again, whenever something costs 1 cost, you got to start thinking about what it can do. You still have to recall it. If you want it to work the way it's supposed to work, you got to recall it a bunch of times. But maybe with 1 or 2 just really good keywords off the RNG bandwagon, it might be strong enough to do what it needs to do. Plus, it's not so big of a tempo loss by like playing 2 costs to replay it and then playing another 2, or it's not as bad. So I kind of like that change. Counterfeit concurrent timelines actually coming. They are changing what it does. So grant your nexus each round. The first time you play a thing, you should find and transform into it. Instead, it's grant followers in your hand when you play me. Pick 1 or 3 followers with the same cost and transform me into it. Grant followers in your hand. Oh, that is an insane nerf, right? So first you need a bunch of units in hand. It also, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say, less painful for drawing multiple copies. It does change the fact that you can use that, but it's not gonna be for the rest of the match. So you have to have good units in the hand first, or be able, or pick units that are decent, that if you have to play them regularly, it's not as bad. But then if you don't have a great hand, then it's still, did they change the cost of it? No. That's pretty rough. I can't play that. So Overgrown Snapvine now only triggers on play effect, which is that changes a lot of stuff, but I don't think people were playing it that much anyway. But now when it doesn't infinitely do a bunch of nonsense, whatever. Champion skins, we got Jazz Bard. We have Alawi getting a skin. That's crazy. Now I do know that TFT is getting a bunch of stuff too, so I will try to not cover it. I won't like do a notes video, but I will play it when it comes out. But that's so cool. It's like a digital tentacle. That's cool as hell. Jin, I thought, yeah, and it's crazy because this is basically TFT stuff. Lulu, Hyper Pop Lulu. Lulu gets a skin here, and I'm assuming that's the Zig. Zig's getting a skin as well. Emotes. Oh, that's good. That's good. I feel like that's my friend right there doing that. That's kind of nuts. Dynamic Duo Fusion. I mean, that'd be good if there was a good 2v2 mode, but yeah. So we got the Remix Rumble bundle, and you can get all that together. Have fun. Competitive stuff I don't care about, unfortunately. Sucks to suck. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what card that you thought was the absolute bestest or the worstest. What card do you wanna just go hard in the paint with? Like, what are you most excited for? The changes were okay, but some of these cards, I think I have to give it up to Portia here. Portia, fantastic, and this is gonna bring Deep. This is gonna make Deep insane. Deep has already been pretty good, especially with the Watery Grave card, and then this could even generate Watery Grave if it costs 3, which is just, I don't know, that's just insane. Kingfisher's crazy, but you know, whatever. Chemtech gotta play it, absolutely. And I want to see if there's something crazy with the Trustee. The Trustee might have the unlocked potential somewhere hidden in the mist. Anywho, that's gonna be it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.